This is Paul Santisi in the studio, and I'm excited and I look forward to presenting the following information to you. This is a 4-CD set titled How to Detach and Let Go from Overthinking and Negative Mind Chatter. How this information will be presented is like this. There is 2 CDs on how to detach and let go from overthinking. And there is 2 CDs on eliminating negative mind chatter. On each CD, we will discuss each topic in detail, then clarify it to the lowest core in order to give you the most descriptive understanding of what's causing it. Then on the second CD, we will work together to confront and replace certain emotional triggers, thoughts, and embedded beliefs. And we will be doing that through a series of verbal drills and interactive exercises to clear out these blocks, to realign your vibration from the inside and at the cellular and DNA level. Giving you the knowledge and the tools in order to get you to the point where you are in 100% control of your life for the rest of your life. The intention of this audio course is to assist you energetically to be able to change old patterns of thoughts and to eradicate negative and suppressed beliefs that are keeping you stuck in a stuck pattern or in a hold pattern mentally, emotionally, energetically, and physically. Okay, let's begin with overthinking. Now, overthinking is a detrimental common habit that millions and millions of people are consumed with on a daily basis. Although, if you like to talk for hours and hours on end about things, overthinkers are perfect because they can come up with millions and millions of questions and scenarios to keep a conversation in motion, and they can do that for years and years and years at a time. The goal, in my opinion, is to be living in the moment as much as possible. The goal is to get out of your head as much as you can and to be aware of your feelings and live in the present moment. Overthinking needs to be addressed right now. What I'm going to cover on this audio, it may not be easy or pleasurable to hear. Some of you may even get annoyed with me because I'm going to bring things to your attention that you may not want to acknowledge about yourself. Listen, I've said this before. I'm here to assist the able to become more able, not to prove anything to anyone. However, I do recommend that you at least listen all the way through to these audios before overthinking its content. As we begin to discuss this topic, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be asking you many questions about yourself. Some of you will answer yes to many of these questions. Some of you will answer no. And some of you will have a varied mix of yeses and nos. Now, remember, folks, there is no right or wrong answer here. These are all about you, and we are all different. So do yourself a favor and answer yourself honestly. Okay? Answer yourself honestly. When I ask you the question, in the moment, just mentally answer to yourself how you feel. Yes or no. Not what you think you should say. Okay? Answer how you feel. Acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge yourself. This act alone will break up so many negative blocks that you may have. Like I said, you must be honest with yourself in answering. Trust me, you will feel what I'm talking about. Overthinking, folks, overthinking, in my opinion, is killing you. It's killing you from the inside. Overthinking is limiting what you are capable of accomplishing, and overthinking is creating mental walls that over time are getting higher, thicker and stronger, making it more difficult to break down, to go through. Overthinking is creating a mental cage around you that, if it's not overcome, will keep you self-contained in your own mental prison. Overthinking causes unnecessary stresses, anxiety, procrastination, depression, confusion, worry, plus many other life challenges. It causes them to become real in your life to the point where you actually believe that they are real. First question. Answer honestly to yourself based on how you feel when I ask. Let me ask you this. Are you always or most of the time in the what if mentality? Meaning that you always think about, what if I said this instead of that? Would ABC person have acted differently towards me? Or would they like me more, or would they like me less? Or would my relationship status be different if I said hello instead of saying, yo, baby, to that girl that walked by me the other day that I really wanted to talk to? Do you get stuck and hung up on the details in things? Do you get hung up on the details in things? Should I speed up at the yellow light? Or should I stop? And should I wait for it to turn red? Should I get a small or a large coffee today? Do decisions like this keep you staring at the drive-thru or at the menu for more than 30 seconds without anything to say when it's your turn to order? Do thoughts like these rattle your brain and consume your attention and energy? Do you go over conversations or text messages or emails from people and think, should I have said hi instead of hey? Or did I mess everything up by saying what's going on instead of something else? Do you make up and try to process dozens, if not hundreds, of scenarios about people and situations? If I only said this, or if I only did that, or did me saying this cause that? Do you struggle and keep thinking about a person, what they said, or what they didn't say back to you? Are you stuck on something that happened in the past? Are you stuck on something that happened in the past? Are you stuck on something that happened in the past? Do you keep running, what if I did this? Or what if I did that? Or what if I said this? Then do you think, would things be different today? Would my life be different? Would I be happier or worse off? Look, I'll share with you a story. I have a dear friend of mine that I've known since we were about 10 years old. And he is ultra intelligent, ultra likable, he's ultra sharp, a quick thinker, and one heck of a good talker. But he overthinks everything. And he overthinks everything to the point where he brings his what-if scenario to the edge energetically. Meaning, he overthinks it through all the way to the point where the answer he is craving is a feeling that only he can feel. You see, there is no physical words to answer his desire. There is no physical words to give him what he's looking for. Imagine that, folks. Imagine that he brings his overthinking that far. Now, what do you think the result of this is in his life? He has no idea where to start. He has very limited focus and only for small bursts of time. The smallest projects takes him years and years to get around to doing, where someone who doesn't overthink can get it done in under 30 minutes and in the same day do 5 other projects and do them with ease and joy. Now, I must say that I truly love and appreciate this guy because I've spent thousands of hours with him in conversation over our lifetime, and it's truly because of him that I am able to take on and respond to any question that people can muster up and throw at me. It's because of this fella. It's because I've spent so much time bringing conversations about money, life, business, relationships, and self-worth all the way to the edge of communication where there are no more physical words to say. The answer is then within him and only how he feels about the questions that he's asking. And do you know what he does after we reach the cliff between words and feelings? You know what he does every time? He starts the whole entire conversation over again, and he words his initial question just a little differently to get a little different perspective. This is when I usually begin to yell at him because he has a block. And that block is he won't allow himself to feel the answer. And this block keeps him asking the same questions 1,000 different ways over and over and over again, day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. So for him personally, I am truly thankful because he has driven me to the point of insanity so many times over the last 30 years that I'm a much better person of character because of it. My ability to really listen and to be able to respond to people based on experience is at levels that truly blows my own mind. Carrying on, let me ask you this. Do you overinflate the words that people say to you in the negative? Do you take offense by them and let them make you feel bad? Or do you let them control how you feel and what you say for the rest of your day? Meaning, do you find yourself dwelling on negative thoughts, emotions, feelings, and things? Do you typically ignore all the potential positive elements of that conversation or that event or that situation? Do you ignore it? Do you jump to conclusions by assuming that others are reacting negatively to you without any real proof? Do you assume that something non-desirable will always happen to you no matter what you try to do? Do you tell yourself that you are a loser and worthless if you make a mistake or say something wrong? I have a friend like that. He's over 50 years old, and he puts so much pressure on himself that when he thinks he does something wrong, he punches himself in the face. He beats himself up. Sad, folks. So sad. Do you take all the blame for things that are not in your control? Do you blame others, the banks, the government, the schools, and the system for why your life sucks? Do you take something small like a facial gesture from someone else, like a smirk or a blank stare, and blow it up to an all-out war in your mind? What's their problem? Who the heck are they to look at me like that? Who do they think they are? Is this what you do? Do you do this? Do you call your friends and family and start the call with, "You won't believe what just happened to me," or "You'll never guess what this jerk just said to me"? Is this you? Is this you? It's okay if it is. Is it? Has anyone ever said to you, look, you're overthinking this, and you're causing problems in your mind that are not even really there? Have you heard that before? How did you feel when you did? Did you acknowledge it and think, you're right, I probably am? Or did you take offense by it, and did you defend yourself in your mind? I have a family member, a close family member like this. And a couple of years ago, it was my wife and I's birthday. Our birthdays are 1 year and 1 day apart. Anyways, we invited everyone over for cake a couple of weeks before via family text message like we always do. And we really don't care who shows up and who doesn't. Either way, it's fine. It's just a general, very light invitation. No offense is ever taken on who does or does not show up, okay? And everyone knows this, by the way. Anyways, so a few days beforehand, this family member calls and says, "Hey, Auntie is upset that you did not invite her and her kids. I was just over there and her kids were crying because they felt left out. And they're all mad as hell at you." She then told me to call my auntie and to invite her and the kids over personally. She then added that my granny thinks I'm an ass too for being like this. Folks, I began to scratch my head because I had sent out a family text message letting everyone know about the cake, just like we do every year, and that if you show up, great, and if not, that's fine too. It's just a cake. So I called Auntie and I said, "What's the challenge with you and the kids?" She said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "So-and-so said that you felt left out and that she just left your house and that your kids were so upset over thinking that I left them out that they were crying and they were mad as hell at me." She said, No, I haven't even seen or heard from her at all. What are you talking about?" So I told her what I was told. And folks, she was left totally confused and totally speechless and said none of it was true and that she knew about the cake, that her and the kids would be over in a few days. So then I called my granny and I asked, "Granny, what are you mad at me for?" She goes, "Why would I be mad at you?" She goes, "I'll be over for cake in a few days and I can't wait to see you and your wife." Again, I told her what I was told by that family member. And she says, "You know that dingbat overthinks and makes stuff up in her head. Why did you believe her?" I said, because she was so detailed and added so much emotion into her words. And in this moment, folks, my granny laughed and she said, "I will see you in a few days," and hung up. Come to find out, this family member never read the text message that I'd sent out. And she assumed that I left out others that she would probably leave out of her cake, okay? And she made this big stink and she made up this story. She made this story up. It was all made up in her mind by her overthinking. So instead of asking, "Hey, are you having cake? I haven't heard," she made up this bogus story full of lies, and then she attached negative emotion to it, and then she yelled at me over it. You see, folks, she is an overthinker, wasting her life on what-if scenarios, sucking the energy out of others, wasting their time with nonsense. She made up these horrible scenarios by overthinking, and she kept feeding these thoughts until they became real to her and until she believed them to be true. She then added negative emotions to them and then yelled at me over it. Can you believe that? Instead of simply asking someone, "Hey, when's the cake? I haven't heard. And if I go, I will, and if I can't, I won't," and left it at that. Let me ask you, are you in the habit of thinking about worst-case scenarios over and over and over and over again? Are you? Are you? Do you begin to believe them as fact? Do you then get more and more annoyed with that person or situation? Do you assume often? Do you assume? Do you have the detrimental life force sucking negative habit of assuming things? Do you? Remember, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Do you find yourself slipping into negative thought patterns and keeping yourself there? Churning it in your mind over and over and over again until you believe it to be real? Then do you get upset over it? Do you allow one negative thought to turn into something out of control that causes you to feel more stress, worry, and fear? To be angry and resentful toward others for no reason? Do you freak out? Do you freak out and second guess yourself when posting a picture of yourself to social media sites like Facebook and Instagram or on a dating profile? Do you go nuts thinking, should I have posted that picture? Should I have done it now? Should I have done it later? Should I take it again? Do you overanalyze what people say or post something like a quote or a song lyric and decide that, oh, that must be a dig about me, and then that makes you more upset? Do you type and delete over and over again when wanting to post something to someone? Do you begin? Now, let me back up for a second, because being an overthinker does not mean that you're always thinking poorly about others in most things, okay? It also applies to this. Do you think about something, but never take any actions? You just think about it over and over and over again. And I have a friend that's like this. He comes up with thousands and thousands and thousands of great ideas, many of which are brilliant, and with just a drop of focus would become huge successes. But this is all he does. He thinks, and takes virtually no action. And even if he does, it's only until the next idea pops into his head, and then he's on to the next thing. And this makes me laugh. It really does, because when he sees someone taking action and making something of a similar idea, you know what he says? He goes, look, this person stole my idea. And then he thinks that they owe him money for stealing his idea. Folks, he is an overthinker. First of all, he doesn't even know these people. He never had a conversation with them, so how did they steal his idea? Then you're trying to tell me that because this person went and took action and applied focus and determination to become a success on a similar idea, that they owe you money for you sitting around on your ass and taking no action? That's what you're saying? Give me a break, will ya? Remember, it's action plus attitude that leads to success. When you analyze, comment, and repeat the same thoughts over and over again, folks, and take virtually no action, you are an overthinker. You are an overthinker. All you're doing is holding yourself back in life, wasting time, lowering your energy, personal drive, expectations, and stopping yourself from allowing yourself to move forward in life. We've all heard the expression, don't get hung up on the hang-ups, right? Well, it's true. This is called spinning your wheels. You think you're moving, but you're always in the same place. Day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. On the next audio, we will be doing a series of drills and exercises that will assist you in overcoming overthinking. So look forward to experiencing that.